So now, actually, it's the first time for me that I'm organizing something that I'm not in delay, but we are before the time. So it's incredible. And I really would like to thank all the speakers because we didn't add a delay, but instead we did something earlier. So now I have a presentation of what we are doing in Italy and what we will do here in Modena. I don't want to take all this time. And after my presentation, instead, we will have a panel with companies, colleagues, and research labs that already are working in AI also with us. The second, probably the panel will be in Italian because all the people are Italiani, but absolutely the same. I try to do this explanation in English also because of our guest, even probably some, they know something of that. But it's also for the students that are here, and I would like really to thank them that since I know that now it's a period of exam for you, but I'm really thanks because what we are doing is for our university and also for Italy. So now, I have two slides that in general I present when I go around, not only in Italy but around the world, in order to present you what is CINI actually, and what is the part of CINI that I have the honor to be the director of. So CINI is the national, the Consorzio Interuniversitario Nazionale per l'Informatica. It's a very old consortium, probably more than 30 years, that put together all the Italian public universities. Professor Damiani is the president of CINI, and put together all the public universities that have some courses in computer science or in computer engineering. And some years ago, CINI decided to create some vertical labs, one in cybersecurity, one in big data, one in embedded system, and so on. And 2 years ago, under the endorsement of the Presidents of Minister Council, CINI decided to start with a new lab called Artificial Intelligence and Intelligence System. I'm honored to be the director of this lab, and also I've been very surprised that after 1 year and a half, now we collect mostly all the laboratories of artificial intelligence in Italy. In this moment, we are 55 nodes that are more or less 50 universities, plus CNR, plus CNR is distributed in all the Italy, Italian Institute of Technology of Genova, FBK in Trento, and we collected more than 1,000 professors and researchers in AI. So this number doesn't consider PhD students or the other, we're just only staff professors that are working on AI. And according to what Professor Damiani told before, AI is not only one vertical technology. AI is really a broad umbrella that takes together many different things. In fact, probably the most important thing that we did in this year is that we collected the data about ourselves. So now we have the data of what we can do, what we are doing in Italy, and who is doing what. So if a company comes to CINI, we can answer who is working in natural language processing, who is working in computer vision, who is working in deep learning, machine learning, so all of them, because now it's something that is very well spread, and also who is working in embodied AI, and so on. This is an example of what we are doing, and this is an example of the collected data about the project that we have in Italy about applied AI. So members and not official members is just only some bureaucratic things. But of course, you can understand that, for instance, in Italy, AI for medicine and health is really very important, as well as important AI for mobile web applications or for autonomous transportation, or for industry, or for human behavior understanding. Of course, this is not the picture of what everything is doing in Italy. It's just only the picture of what the professor in computer vision, in deep learning, in machine learning, in general, in computer engineering and in computer science are doing applied to AI. So before you received the presentation about China is fantastic, about US is fantastic, about Europe it's fantastic. But at the end, I would like to underline that also Italy is not bad in research. And not only not, because very often we are very used to talk about Italy because we are negative in everything. But for one time, we should be also proud of what we are doing in Italy. And I would like to show you some data that are not my data because come from Google and come from CIMAGO. CIMAGO is the most important collection of scientific publication that is in the world. So if you look at you can find it on the web, so it's easier to find. If you look at the integral over the last 12 years, you can see that for AI, Italy is in the big 8 nation for the production. And this is not normalized with the number of people that are in the nation, you have to remember. It is neither normalized with the amount of money we received for research, because this is another thing. But if you look just only last year, and if you look at the reputation we have, so the citation we have in AI, you look that this number now become better. And if you want, probably it's not so better just all in computer vision and pattern recognition, because China, United States, and UK are really fantastic in this area. But I would like to show you this. This is something that I like a lot, because these are the data of last year. In 2018, and is the number of citation in Europe that there is in AI. So if in 2 weeks United Kingdom will be not in Europe anymore, we can say that we are the first one. You know. I'm so sorry, I'm not joking. I'm joking now, but it's just only to say that our research in the world is very well recognized. It's so well recognized that our students go abroad very quickly, and it's easy for them to find job in US, in China, in Abu Dhabi, or everywhere. But what we are doing here is to try to do something here in Modena and in Italy in order to work with you here in our country. So closing the loop about CINI, what we are doing a lot of research activity, and especially international exchange. Last year I traveled a lot, and not only me, but all my colleagues. And because we try to do joint collaboration with the US, with UK, with Canada that is not rated, with Israel, with UAE, with France, with Sweden in June, in order to find possible point-to-point collaboration, and also to create European project or international project. And also what we are doing in Italy is also a big education in AI. These are other numbers that we are very proud that have been collected by CINI, considering all the universities in Italy. And so now in this moment, there are in 50 universities more than 200 different courses in AI. And there are now many universities that started with a specific master or specific curricula in AI. This is a big picture, but you can see in vertical which are the universities that have specific master courses of curriculum courses in big data, in cybersecurity, in AI, and the other one. And I'm very proud because since last year, we started a new curriculum of the computer engineering masters here in Modena in AI engineering, all in English. So this is the first year of that, and we are doing this in English, and I hope that this will be very important for you to stay here, but also for the other people abroad to come to study here in Modena and in the other Italian universities. So that's why I cannot spend too much time to show you what we are doing in Italy, but really we are very dynamic for this, and probably NVIDIA recognizes that because since we decided to go together, we are one of the few examples where there is really a network of science. This network of scientists can work at the research level with NVIDIA in order to empower our research capability in order to do better research. It's very important for that because it's one of the few times where a large company like NVIDIA come here not to ask something, but to work together, to go together in the field of research. And similar is something that we would like to do here in Modena. You know very well because you are our students, but for the companies that are here and the international companies that are here, just to present that our university is actually now a network of 3 different campus, one in Modena, one in Reggio Emilia, and one in Mantova. And we have more than 27,000 students with not a lot of professors, but strong enough to... We hope to increase the number, and if our rector say that, we are very proud of this announcement. I hope that also Italian ministry can help us to do this. And we have 15 different departments. One of these departments is Department Enzo Ferrari, that is the part of the School of Engineering, with the other department of Reggio Emilia and Department of Science, Informatics and Physics. Our department is very big. We have more than 5,000 students. You have just only a small part of them. And we are 100 professors and more professors that are helping you to create your future here. And we are doing this with different curricula and different bachelor and master science and also PhD program. Among them, going the direction, just only going the direction of the information and communication technologies area, because our department has the mechanical part, the civil part, and the information and communication technology area. We have also different labs. One is AImageLab that I'm supervising, but there are many other in database, in the electronics, in signal processing, in web and cyber, and so on. And all of us are also together in one what is called interdepartmental center. It was formerly called SoftTech, but now it's changed the name in Artificial Intelligence Research and Innovation Center. In this moment, we have 4 different departments that are part of that. So the 3 departments of the School of Engineering and the department on economics. I hope that in future also other medicine department or other department will join with us. And this is the Research and Innovation Center that have been supported and founded by Regione Emilia-Romagna and since more than 10 years of that. Together with Regione Emilia-Romagna, and thanks to support before Assessore Palma Costi doesn't remind that, but the Regione Emilia-Romagna gave us €1 million for AI. So I really would like to thank Regione Emilia-Romagna for this €1 million for creating the new building of that. But they support our research, and we support the research with industry. So we created this AI Academy. This is just only a sort of virtual community working together with companies, creating days like today, creating schools, and working for this example. we in Modena, we have good infrastructure for research. Probably if I consider the number of petaflops that I have in the AImageLab, NVIDIA told me that after the big center, we probably are the largest or one of the largest research lab in terms of petaflop per person in GPU, but they are not enough. It's not enough to have some V100 for research that we have. We absolutely need to scale up. In order to scale up, we have to work with HPC center, and we are very, very lucky because the biggest supercalculus centers in Italy and one of the biggest in Europe is less than 30 kilometers from here, and is Cineca, and therefore I'm very proud of the fact that the director of Cineca will be here to speak with you in 15 minutes. We are working with them with the project it's possible to do, and also we have a project together. As well, in order to show you something we are doing together, Regione Emilia-Romagna supported us also from the education point of view, the post-laurea, post-graduation part. And so now we started a new program that is Advanced School in AI in Emilia-Romagna. We started now for the next 2 years, and that is something done together with the University of Ferrara and with the University of Bologna, and also with NVIDIA, because NVIDIA supported us also by 1 year ago when we did the request of this kind of things. Okay. 2 minutes or 5 minutes to show you some result of research. Probably most of you know very well that part of the students instead are young, and they will come to work with us in the few years. I arrived here in 1988, so 22 years ago, before I was in other universities. And together with my former students, we started with AImageLab 20 years ago, and now we added an A in front of that, but the lab is also the same. Now we are more than 30 persons. We are 4 professors, 3 staff researchers, 1 visiting researcher, 3 postdoc, 13 PhD students, 9 research grants. Where is my director? I have no space anymore. Please support me for that. But so we are really many different people work together in different fields of AI. And as well, we have some spin-off around that are being created by our previous students that now are not students anymore and are working on that. What we are doing here? A lot of things, but at the end, in the former part of the picture, you will see the big area of that are part of AI, machine learning, computer vision probably are the one that are more historical and more important for us. But if you look at the long list of the subtopic, all of them for you could be a topic for a thesis, or for a laureate thesis, or for a project that we are doing together. And this is just for the theoretical point of view, for the foundational AI. But what is fantastic of our research is that you can use the same algorithm, the same structure, and apply in completely different field. So you can use the same architecture for recognizing something, and you can use in different field. For this reason, our lab is divided in 4 important areas. The one most historical is the area of surveillance as smart cities and mobility, transport, and something that is related to human behavior in the city, human in the future city. The second one is AI for health and medicine. One, it's very important because we are in Emilia-Romagna, where the companies are a lot to work with them in industry. And the fourth, again, very, very important because we are in Italy, are the AI with the digital humanities and cultural heritage. And I cannot show you everything about that, but just only a list of some projects that are currently ongoing in this area. We have some European project. The first and the second actually are our project. Pristin is the project of my colleagues Marco Bertogna, where we are working with. The other one are some project, international project that we have, and some Italian national project that we are working on that, especially for analyzing the behavior of people in the world. Second list of project is the list that we have with company. We are working with Tetra Pak, with Loccioni for manufacture. We have a joint lab with Ferrari, not for autonomous driving, but for what I believe is most important, so for the interface between human and vehicle. In the future, vehicle could also go around alone, but as a goal to transform, to make our life better, and therefore I believe that this is a part is very important. We are working with the UXNet Emporté, we are with the MetaLiquid, with digital design, and many other companies that I was not possible to put here. In health and medicine is another important topic. In this moment, Professor Costantino Grana is not here because he's in Valencia, since he's working in European project called Deep Health that is creating the biggest libraries for deep learning in medical imaging. And so this is a part of that. And we are working also, for instance, don't laugh, but this is to understand the part of the animals that are inside. And as I told you, part of our important field is working on digital humanities and on cultural heritage. We have all the 3D reconstruction of St. Peter in Vatican, and we can work with that, and we can work with some data that are in our museum. And I hope to be able very soon to put some robots around to go around in the museum without broken and without destroy this piece of art. In this moment, we are simulating everything because probably it's better. So some scientific result, just only two numbers. I like this one because this is something that we did 20 years ago here in Modena. In 2001, we presented that at the time of the 11 September. In this moment, we was working in surveillance. This is Professor Barozzi that was passing in our part. We continue working on this area in order to understand, for instance, if group of people are staying together and are working together. I put this image with the cross because this is an important problem. We worked a lot with the Duke University and with the US and for collecting data in order to understand the behavior of the people. Unfortunately, this data set now is closed, has been closed because of privacy issue, because US doesn't want that this data is used by China. So because this kind of data has been spread open source, US decided to close the access to this data. And this is a terrible information. Science should be free. Instead, in this case, it's not. And the diritto dell'innovazione, as you told. So the rights to do research, to do innovation is something that we really, in Italy and Europe, have to maintain. But so, in order to cope with this, in order to cope with the difficulty to work with own data, we can also work with other kind of data. Probably some of you that know that I have some lucky students that pass their time playing with GTA, because we are creating an enormous data set of people going around, synthetic data, working on that with some GTA mod. So if there is someone of you that is interested to work in this area, please come in the lab to do. For instance, to recognize the person that are there. I like this because thanks to this work, we overlapped. We are the state of the art for understanding the aspect of the people, even they are overlapped, or we are able to understand the behavior of the people in some normal situation like this one, and understand, for instance, the activities of the people that are working or are in displays and playing or are doing something around. This is something else that is in another word that I like to show you, is to recognize what a driver is doing or what the passenger is doing. Because in this case, the network, the neural network has been trained with the driver. So Luke is doing the task of driving. The other one instead have been trained with many different images, with pizza or with whichever image you want. And so it's like a passenger that is looking around. And this is something we are doing from 2D or 3D and also inside in order to understand the activity of the people. As I told you, vision, AI, and language is important for interaction. And so we started with some PhD students the idea to study how can we interact between a robot and person, and understand what, for instance, the robot is looking for and what is the robot is doing, and asking the robot to tell us in natural language what it's doing. So that is something that we are working on. This, for instance, is that another things to understanding the action of the people, so what the people are doing in the video. And this is, for instance, is really a research area because it's a general research area, but at the same time we are doing this together with a company because MetaLiquid is a company that supported us paying for a PhD student, and at the same time this is the first experiment we did with NVIDIA because I wrote here in order to do a trial, a single trial, we need 40 days for the training in normal big GPU. And so just only thanks to Frederick and his group, at least with a bit of optimization, we was able to fold out the number to 3 days. 3 days with respect to 14 is really a number. We have a lot of work to do, but we just started to improve this kind of things. And we are able, this is an example of what we can do together. Research, so means that improve the research considerably in a part. There are many other things. For instance, we are creating fake data, but not fake news, but for instance, fake marble, fake design to support designers in industry. So to create new data for them in order, for instance, to have new models of ceramic tile, or also in this case, images for semantic segmentation. This is at the end what we did very recently for art. Probably some of you was one of the 1,000 persons that went to see this experiment we did. It was very fun because the topic was we look if there are someone that are similar to the people that have depicted in the picture. And actually, these are the 3 people that was more close to the Duke of Este that you was able to find. Just only you understand that probably this one could be similar, but it's just. Finally, in digital humanities, we are trying to do something for understanding handwritten recognition in some topic where Google is not working. So in the topic of old style 16th century or 17th century part, done with the last fashion of deep learning. Finally, last one is that we have a lot of collaboration with international university. In this moment, we are trying to do a joint degree with the NTU in Norway in order to have a joint degree in AI engineering for that. And And not only for research, and not only for research at university, but also for research in science. Is another advertising. In September, we will organize in Milano a big conference on pattern recognitions, and so I wait there the colleague, the scientist, and also the industry if they want to support us. Okay, what we can do together with NVIDIA. This is something Frederick wrote yesterday in his blog about that Italy Forge AI Future in partnership with NVIDIA. I hope that is true, will be true, and we will try to do together. And so what we try to do together is research. We start here in Modena. The lab we are creating, it's about AI for humans in the future. That means that we try to work in the part that I presented before, in computer vision, in pattern recognition, machine learning, and so on, for understanding human and in vehicle. And I would like to conclude. Usually there is one conclusion, but I'm enlarging myself, so I have two conclusions. So the first one is that we should do research. We should do research within Italy. That means that we must have local, regional, national project, not alone. So we need to work with the other university at regional level and national level, and especially also at European and international level, because I'm absolutely sure that just only if we do the best research as possible, we can become the best professor as possible, and also to provide a technology transfer for the company. The second one is that research should be in fundamental science, but also in applied science. We are in engineering department, so we have to do that. But what I believe is important is that our role is not to do research for the industry. This is not our role. Our role is to do research with industries in order to work together for the next things. Thank you.